Welcome everyone. So let's start. Today's session is about subnetting. It is a 2-day short course on subnetting. This is what you guys have been requesting from long time. Also our classes which are ongoing. So last weekend they also requested that they want to go for subnetting. So we thought let's hold a detailed session today and tomorrow. So this is a 2-day session. We will do subnetting in detail. So please watch the full recording and try to join the live session because this will give you good experience. So we will go through subnetting in detail and we will see how to do. So I will first explain you something about there are total 7 sections of, so I will explain you about basic fundamentals of IP subnetting, that why we need subnetting at all. Because what happens in most of the trainings, people just start doing the math which becomes very boring, and then we don't know what is the purpose why we are doing all of that. So I would like to explain to you why we need subnetting with the help of these examples I have prepared for you guys. Is my voice clear, guys? Honesty says he has bad voice. Sometimes it is due to internet connection as well. Okay, thank you, already educated. Okay, don't worry guys, it might be sometime your internet issue as well. So don't worry, this session is being recorded as well. Just wait for a while, and then when your network connection is fine, it goes good. Because if you start writing here, it's better to write, but we should see whether other people are also looking at the same issue or not. So we'll go through subnetting, why we need subnetting at all. What is IP address? What is subnetting? Some fundamentals. I'll give you an example as well of our roll number, our classes, so that it becomes, so that we have, for example, a big class of 100 students. How can we divide this class similar to the dividing a network? Then we'll see these examples. The second section, we will go through the IP address classes, how to identify, because this is the basis for subnetting. Although we have done this many times in our previous lectures, but I would recommend that we go briefly through it so that the people who are joining for first time, they can also study this one. We'll go through the exercises, but I will not go through in detail of the first few sections. Then we will go through decimal to binary, which is also preparation for the subnetting. This is not the subnetting, this is just the conversion which we should know. Although we can do by using a calculator. I will also show you how you can use calculator, because beyond CCNA, CCNP, we don't do the binary math by hands. We just understand it, and then we use the subnetting calculators as well. I'll show you how to use those calculators and all of that. Yes, guys, please turn off your video. It is wasting your data as well, and also sometime it might compromise your privacy as well, because sometimes you don't know your video is on. So from your side, video is not needed. From my side, I'll be sharing my screen, so it will save your data as well if you are not on Wi-Fi. But it's your choice, it's fine. So then we will go through the conversion from decimal to binary, and then binary to decimal. I'll give you some exercises as well to do at home. But this is again the preparation. Then binary to decimal, part number 4. Then from part number 5, the actual thing will start. We will start knowing about the subnetting in detail. So first 4 parts. First part I will emphasize, then second, third, fourth, which is about converting binary to decimal, decimal to binary. That one we have done many times previously as well, so I'll not spend much time, but we will go through it briefly. Then here we will know how to calculate the number of hosts in a subnet. Yes, it is being recorded, guys, don't worry. So, and it will be shared with you. So after that, we will do some examples. Then I'll give you some exercises to do from home. So it's a lot of extensive work which you guys will be doing today and tomorrow, and it will clarify all your concepts. And I'll be more than happy to take all your questions. So feel free. And then we will be calculating the range of the IP addresses. For example, if somebody tells us that this is the IP address 192.168.0.1, so how do I know from which subnet, from which network does it belong to? So we will also see how to do this one with the help of examples, and then there will be exercises again for you guys to do from home. So you guys can print this PowerPoint, even you can do it here, or you can do it on your paper or on your Word as well. And then you can send me your completed assignments as well, all of these exercises. So I will check, and if any problem, then we will go through the real world scenarios based on all previous things which we would have learned until here, we will know how to do it practically when your manager, when your company says that we have purchased this subnet, please divide it into two networks of 126 hosts each. How do you do that one? So this is the real thing which we need to be expert on, but this is the highest thing of subnetting as well. I do not expect from you guys to be expert on first day. So it's okay, take your time, but we will do step by step. So your base must be very strong. And then we will go through these scenarios. We have a big network of 254 hosts, and we have to divide it into two networks, two small networks. We'll also go through an example. We have purchased this subnet for our company, and we need to divide this one into these subnets according to the requirement. We will do some binary math and everything. And then another example. And then I have given you these scenarios as well, which you guys have to prepare and send to me. Then there is an online subnet calculator. I will show you how to use. So you can click in here. This is on our website, and it has been programmed to do the calculation for you guys. Click on this one, or you can search in Google as well for IP subnet calculator. In this subnet calculator, actually, here you have to put, for example, I want to find that this 192.168.0. let's say 8, and the subnet is /30. So what is the range of the IP address? How many hosts do I get? So I'll show you that how to use this calculator. But actually we need to do the binary math and calculation so that we can understand that how the whole purpose, how the whole mechanism work. But once you are expert, like we are not doing binary math these days, that's why most of the people, they lag, because they start using the calculator from day one, which is not a good thing. So we will learn, and then we need to be efficient as well, because we cannot do binary calculation ourselves. So we will learn that how to use this calculator as well. The link of the calculator is also in your PowerPoint. Let me paste here as well. Also, whatever we will be discussing, studying, then all the materials, everything will be shared with you guys. Then there are many quizzes, cheat sheets, all of that, which will be given to you guys. So you guys can download. Also, this is the cheat sheet for the cramming, for the reference as well, the classes of IP addresses which I have prepared for you. And then this is the cheat sheet. I will also show you how to use this one. So these kind of help materials are also there available. Also, we will go through a live quiz which you guys will attempt, and we will see how much have you learned. Once we have done half of it, then the remaining you will do through the exercises. So let me go to the quiz, just a second. This will be the quiz which you guys will be attempting. It is an online quiz, so that's why I was saying that the recording is not 100% helpful. Better you try to join online. So here you will put your email address, and then you will be attempting the quizzes like that. So let's start now. Any questions until here, guys? Any comments, any questions? Please write it shortly so that we can read quickly and we can answer quickly. Clement says, can I help you with the lesson because I'm at work right now? No problem. I mean, anyone else, guys? Any question, any comments before we start? Idris says, can we record? No, it will be recorded. It is being recorded and you will get the recording, because if everyone starts, then Zoom will hang. Okay, already just Daniel Kumar says, all good. Okay. Okay, great. So let's start. So first we start with fundamentals of IP subnetting. These are the most important things which nobody tells, and each training, each instructor, they start jumping into the binary mathematics and everything. So, but we need to understand, first of all, why do we need subnetting? Why do we need to do all of this, right? So does anyone know why do we do the subnetting? Why don't we only use the classes A, B, C? That's all. Question and answer sheet. Lemon, which question and answer? Yes, you will get that one. Reduce wastage of IP addresses. Very good, Mohammed Hamid. Mr. Joel says to specify IP. Binzer says save addresses. Bori said save addresses already Jupyter to avoid congestion to do divide the network. Kareem track, Shiniza, Muse separate. Okay, very good, very good. So what is a subnet first of all? What is an IP address first of all? Subnet is a network. And what is a network? Last time we discussed in our lecture that what is a network? A network, you can say, is simply a switch, or a network is a broadcast domain where if one computer is connected, let's say this is a laptop, this is another one, laptop number 2, then this is a laptop number 3. If 1, 2, and 3. If laptop number 1, if host number 1, laptop, computer, host, server, they are all the same term. So when I will say host, then it means it's a computer or it's an any end device. So when one will send, then everyone else will receive a copy through the switch. This is called a network. This is called a subnet. It means a switch, basically a layer 2 switch creates the network. Then we have a second type of device which is called as router. So what happens in the case of router? If one side sends a broadcast, then it will not be forwarded to the other side. So if this one sends the broadcast, then it will not be reaching to 5. It means the routers, they divide the broadcast domains. There was a lecture on broadcast and collision domains in which we have discussed in detail. So please go through that recording as well. It will clarify your concept. Also, there is a very good lab and a lecture on switch versus router and how many types of devices are there in detail. So you can also go through if somebody is lacking on these concepts. So this is called a subnet. Now we want to divide these subnets. So we will need a layer 3 device in between them for them to communicate. So in simple words, each port on a router is a subnet, is a network. This is network number 1, network number 2. While all the ports on a switch belong to only one network. Clear? So what is a subnet now? Again, subnet is a network in simple words. It is the logical subdivision of an IP network. Means we have a network and we subnet it. We make a sub-network out of it. We have a big network, right? And then we divide this network so that on left side there is one, on right side there are 2 networks now. Network number 1, or you can say subnet number 2. That's why you can say IP subnetting. Subnetting means sub-network, right? Now there are 2 parts of the IP address. Everyone know IP address is a number which is assigned to a host to each port of any layer 3 device. So IP address has 2 parts. Usually we write the IP address like this: 10.0.0.1, 255.255, any subnet, any network mask .0, which can also be written like this /24. So it has 2 parts. First part is called the IP address, and then the second part is called as the subnet mask. IP address is the number. It tells us the host number, while the subnet mask tells us from which network does it belong to, right? Again, part number 1, part number 2. First part is just a number, and then the second part, it tells us that it belongs to which network, where does it reside. For example, let's say we have these 3 networks, right? We have network number 1, we have network number 2, we have network number 3. So there are 3 networks, and then there is a 4th network as well, but we don't care. This is point-to-point link, right? So this network number 1, it has around 30 computers connected to it, which are all in the same IP subnet. And the IP addresses, they start from 10.0.0.0 until 10.0.0.31. First and last IP address cannot be used. So the first computer will have an IP address of 10.0.0.1/27. Then the second one will have 10.0.0.2/27. Guys, these basic concepts are very important. Any question comes into your mind, please ask, but let's keep the questions relevant to what we are studying. Then the third one will be .3, .4, .5 until it will go to .30. Here it is showing 5, it is just for the symbolic presentation, but totally they are 30 hosts. So total 30. And then What would happen if I do not put /27? This one will start from 10.0.0.33, 34, 35 dot. /27 means the network number. We will study this one as well. So this is the subnet mask, which is the second part. If you are missing this one, please go through the lecture of IP addresses. We have discussed this in detail, that IP address has two parts. One is called IP address. The second one is called as the subnet mask. So if somebody is joining this first time, it's no problem. You can send a message to admin. She will share the recording of that session. So IP address and subnet mask. If we do not put subnet mask, then what would happen? You know, if this subnet mask is not 27, what would this mean? So if I say 10.0.0.0/24, this number is very much different from 10.0.0.0/27, because this 27 tells us that there are total 30 hosts which are starting from 10.0.0 until 31, while this number tells us there are 256 hosts which are starting from the first IP will be 10.0.0.0, 0.0.1, 0.0.2 until .254. So subnet mask is very important to know the location. If I tell you that this is the IP address, so can somebody tell me from which network does it belong to? Network number 1, 2, or 3? Anybody can tell? Vasu, Jonathan, friends. So I wouldn't be able to take all names because we have many people now. Terence, Ken, Asian, and Casimo 2. Yes, you guys are. Some people are saying 1. No, it will not be 1. It will be 2, because you can see from the range here, 10.0.0.0 until 31. This is called as range. So this means the first computer will have an IP address of 10.0.0.0.1. Although it is 10.0.0.0, it starts from here, but first and last IP address cannot be used. First one is called network number, last one is broadcast number. The second IP address, second computer will have this IP address 10.0.0.2 until 30 and 31. We can see from here it is starting from 0 until 30. This is called as range. We will see how to calculate this range. We will see everything. Here I'm just giving you an overall idea. So if we do not have the network subnet mask, we don't know. Let me give you an example of this one in general world. Here we have the roll numbers. So these are the roll numbers of our recent two classes, batch number 25 of CCNA and batch number 26 of our CCNA class as well, right? I just copied from the original roll numbers. The roll numbers we always put like that. Here you can see in this CCNA batch 25, you can see these numbers are fixed. They are not changing. And then these roll numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 until how many roll numbers can we have, guys? You following this scheme? Total, how many roll numbers can we have in this class? Because we are using 2 bits. No, Boris said I have mentioned 15, but there will be 16, 17, there will be. But how many can we have total? It can be 100. It can be from 00 to 99, right? Because we are using 2 numbers. So maximum it can have 16, 17 until 99, because for 100 we will need 3 numbers which are not here. So we are having 2 numbers. So it means we are using 2 numbers. If we use 2 numbers, we can have total 100 roll numbers, 100 people in one class, right? Then again, if the people, they become more than 100, so what do we have to do? We have to make a new class like this. Then we start again 01, 02, 03. Or what we can do is we can change 1 bit. We can add an extra bit. So then we can start putting in here. On the left side, we can say 001, 002, 003. Now, in this case, with 3 digits, how many students can we have in one class, guys? Very good. Daniel says 999. Yes, this will be now. The last one will be 999 because now we have 3 digits. So now you understand the importance of digits. If we increase the number of digits, it means the part which is changing can have more people, can house more things, but then we have to decrease. If our numbers are fixed, let's say 32, then it means we have to decrease something from here. So we have to cut one digit from the other side and borrow to the other side. So in here, you might have seen that within one class, there are two parts now. Each roll number is telling us two parts. First part is fixed. This part tells us that this student belongs to which class, to which area, to which group. And this part is fixed. You can see this one is permanently fixed, right? Then there is a second part on the right side, which is changing again and again. This part is changing. And then this represents what? This represents the student number. Similarly, in IP addresses, we have one part which is changing, which is called as host part, and one part which is not changing, which is binding them together, is the network part in the IP address. Daniel says, question, CCNA B25 is actually the mask number. Yes, you can say this one is the network portion of the mask. Mask is just, mask basically tells us that which part is the network number, which part is the host number. So mask is used for that one. But each IP address has two parts. One part is fixed, which is again this one. And then another part is changing. But you can see the part which is changing, that one is being repeated again and again. You can see 01 is here, 02 is here. But we can differentiate. Why? Because this part is different. B25 and B26. It means the student which belongs to the class of CCNA batch number 25 is different from the roll number 1 of batch 26. Similarly, batch 27. So these are called as groups, or you can say subnets or networks, or our course classes as well, right? Similarly, in IP addresses, we also have two parts. One is called network portion and the other one is called as host portion. Host portion keeps on changing while network portion does not change. Network portion tells us that if we have one network, two network, three network, that from which network does it belong if they are connected together, right? So the current standard of IP address is RFC 791. IP is a protocol actually. IP is a number, IP address is a number, and internet protocol, IP is a protocol. I would suggest that anybody who really wants to study networking, who wants to adopt as a career and who wants to proceed and become a real network engineer must study this RFC. RFC are standard documents which are released by IEEE or IETF whenever they release a protocol. So when I was young like you, I was studying this IP protocol and I still have those notes. IP protocol, OSPF. So you must study all of those basic ones, especially this IP, because this is the base of the whole networking. Okay, so IP is a 32-bit number. We all know it is written in this format, 10.0.0.1 or 192.168 like that. But actually, this is based on the binary calculation. Each of this digit is 8-bit number. So means it can be represented in binary in this form as well, because 10 in binary is 1010. Then 0 in binary is this, 0 in binary is this, and then 0 in binary is this. So this is how it goes. And then we have subnet mask, which can also be written in binary. 255 we just convert. We will just see how to convert it. 255. So what I want to say is we can write them in decimal notation or we can write them in binary notation as well. And we need to know that how to convert. Yes, this one is 0, typing mistake. This one is 0. So it has two parts, which is network number and host part, and subnet mask tells us. So the subnet mask until where it goes with 111, it means this portion is the network portion, and then where it has zeros, it means this part can change, and this is called as host portion. Again, the part which is changing is called as network portion. This tells us from which network does this IP address belong to. While the portion which has zeros in the subnet mask is called as host portion, and then it keeps on changing. So first IP address will be what? 0000, just like we saw in the roll number. The second IP address will be what? 0000.2, 00003004 until it finishes up, right? Now IP address is represented by dotted decimal notation, means 10001 or 192.168, something like that. But actually these numbers are binary numbers, you can see. I just showed you an example. Then two types of addressing, class full and classless, right? So let me go quickly to that page of classes. Okay, so each class has a fixed subnet mask, which is called as default subnet mask. Means if the IP address belongs from this range, if the first octet is from 1 to 126, then it must have this subnet mask. Subnet mask can be written in dotted decimal notation or it can be written in slash notation as well. CIDR notation, you can see. So it means if 1 to 126, if an IP address is 11.0.0.1, it means this belongs to class A. So the default subnet mask, it should always be /8. This is called class full. Now, if the same IP address, we mention it 10.11.0.0.1, if I mention /9, now this is no more class full. This one is now classless. Right? So if an IP address has a subnet mask other than its default subnet mask, other than 8, other than 16, other than 24, then it is called as classless. Clear on this point of class full and classless? Also, your questions which come into your mind, please write, please keep on writing with you, because sometimes if you write long questions, I can't see and when I'm teaching. So I will try to answer if they are short. But long questions or scenario-based question, please keep on writing with you. During the break or in the middle, I will take your questions. Then you can paste again. So I'm not ignoring any questions. I want you guys to ask questions so that you learn. We will come to classes now. So I just wanted to tell you class full and classless. We'll go back again there. Right? And then first and last IP of each subnet is not usable. These are some of the rules which we need to learn if we want to learn IP addresses and subnetting. And without IP addresses and subnetting, you cannot be a network engineer. You cannot learn anything. So first and last IP of each subnet is not usable. We cannot assign to any host. For example, if the range of a network is from 10.0.0 up to 10.0.0.3. It means the first IP address will be 10.0.0.0, the second will be 10.0.0.1, third will be .2, and fourth will be .3. Now in this network, the first IP address cannot be used. It is called as network number. It means it represents this whole group. If somebody asks us that this range belongs to which group, so we will say it belongs to 10.0.0. Means the first one is the name of the whole network, and the last one is called as the broadcast. If you send any communication to this IP address, it will go to everyone else as well. We will go to classes, Samson, don't worry. After this one, the second part. So first cannot be used, last cannot be used, only middle part can be used. So if somebody has 256 hosts, so it means we always have to make sure if somebody asks how many usable, we have to -2 always. And -2 is because the first and last IP cannot be used. So out of 256, we can only use 254 always, right? And I already explained IP and subnet mask, how they can be written together. We went through this example as well of the class roll numbers to understand the network and the host portion as well. Now let's go to an example. Let's say you have a class of 100 students, right? Yes, we are studying everything. VLSM, CIDR, all. So we have a class of 100 students. Either we can have it in one large class, or what we can do, what usually the schools are doing, so they divide it into two parts so that it's easy to manage, it is easy to identify students, and it is easy to understand. Yes, we will go through 1 to 7. Guys, please don't jump. Let's discuss what we are discussing, and please keep your questions with you as well. Okay, so either we can have one big class of 100, or either we can have two small classes of 50 students each. We can say class 1 and class 2 for easy management. Or what we can do is we can also make 8 classes. So we can further divide it into 25. 25 means two classes of 25, 25 and one of 50. Or we can divide a class into, let's say, 25 and then 25. So either we can have 4 classes. So this is called as subnetting. We keep on dividing the subnets into further smaller networks for easy management and according to our requirements as well, based on the scenario which I told you on switch and router. Right? Similarly, let's say you have this class 192.168.0.0, you have this network. This network /24, later we will see in our example when we will calculate the number of hosts. So once we calculate, we will know that /24 means 256 hosts are there in this subnet, right? So either we can keep big subnet, but if somebody has a requirement, your company or your management has a requirement, and why do they have requirement? We will see in the scenario as well, which will be coming next. Let's say we have a requirement to divide it. So what we can do is we can divide these 256 hosts into 128 each. So this one will have 128. This one will also have 128. We can have network number 1, network number 2, 128. But ideally it will be, but practically it will be 126 because we discussed the first and last cannot be used. So you can see that this portion is same 192.168.10.0.0. But what is making the difference between them? From 24 we have made it 25 now, because we know /25 always has 128 hosts. We will do the calculation in next step as well. So this is called as subnetting. Further, if we want to divide this one into, if we want to divide it into 4 subnets, so we can also divide this one into 4 subnets as well. So we can say the first one will be 192.168.0.0 slash, this one will be 128, sorry, it's a spelling mistake, typing mistake. Okay, 192.168.0.0, the first one will be /0. The second one will be 192.168.0.64/26. We will see this with practical example how to calculate this one. .0. Let's say 128 or anything, and then /26, and similarly the fourth one will be. So you can see this portion is making the difference, although the number is also changing, but we will see how it goes. In simple words, we can divide a network into multiple further network according to our need. If your company needs one full subnet of all 256 hosts, it's okay, they can start using this IP scheme. The first IP address, let's say they will put all the computers together, they will connect them through a switch, and the first computer will have an IP address of 192.168.0.0 cannot be assigned, so it will be 1/24. Second will have 2/24. Third will have 24. They will go until 254/24 because 55 cannot be used. But what will happen now? All of them will be able to communicate with each other. They will be in one group. But if somebody says, no, I don't want to put them in one group, I want to divide half and half. So from 1 to 128, they should talk, and then from 128 onwards, they shouldn't be able to talk to the first one. They should be able to talk to the other side as well, right? So in that case, we can divide it into 2. We can change the subnet mask from /24 to 25, and then first one will be 0.0, second will be 192.168.0.128. But we will see practically. Now here, why we need to do subnetting? Let's study again one more scenario. So in simple terms, if we say, let's say your company has given you this network. They said, okay guys, we have purchased this one from Ayana from the registry, and we want you to implement this 110.0.0/24 into this network. So now the challenge comes, because now it's not in your hand. Why? Because now you have routers in between. As soon as you try to configure 10, let's say you want to keep in one class, right? 10.0.0.1/24. If you go to the other side, if you try to assign 10.0.0.0.2/24, is it possible? No. It will give you the error if it is the same router, but it will allow you to configure, but then there will be conflicts as well because networks are overlapping now. You will have suboptimal routing, there will be security concerns, there will be bad performance, and network will not work properly. But if it is on the same router, let's say this first IP address, because on router you also have to give IP address, right? So on this side you try to give 10.0.0.1/24. On this side you try to give 10.0.0.2/24. Here router will straightforward reject. It will straightforwardly reject. It will say it is not possible because this is a layer 3 device. Each port should have a separate network. So it means you cannot go with this one. You have to divide it into the subnets, right? How to divide? That is what we are going to study as well. So the requirement is that there are 30 computers. Let's say this is your company's branch 1, which is in Dubai. Let's say this is in Dubai somewhere. Then this is somewhere in India. This is somewhere in Nigeria, let's say, right? So they want to connect them together. So they are saying in our Dubai branch, we have 30 computers, 30 hosts. Here we have 27 computers. Here we have 30 computers. And then we also have 2 additional networks. Guys, can somebody tell me how many networks are there in this picture? Last time we discussed the people who joined in our previous lecture of switch versus router. Very good. Some people are still saying 3. No, it's 5. Very good, Sheila, Philippus, and Casimo. There are 5 networks. Network number 1, including router port. Network number 2. So this is 1, this is 2. Network number 3. And then we also have these 2 additional network, this point-to-point network between the 2 routers. This is network number 4. Because of course, each port on the router, each layer 3 port needs to have an IP address. So total 5 networks. It means we have to divide this network into total how many networks? Total 5 networks. Some portion of these will go to here, 30. So total how many? For /24, I just told you we have total 256. We will see how to calculate later on in next phase. So here out of these 256, 30 will go here, 27 will go here, 30 will go here, 2 will go here, and 2 IP addresses will go here. But we need to divide, we have to make this number of hosts always in the power of 2. So we have to make them equal. So we will divide this 256 into equal subnets, but we cannot make it 5, we have to make it 10, because like I said, you can make the networks, either it can be 1 network, it can be 2 network, it can be 4 networks, 8 networks, 16. It cannot have 15 networks. It's not possible within one class, right? So we will divide this one. You can see here. I'm not saying we should know how to divide because we are going to study it. This is what we are establishing the base for. Kelvin, you are requesting remote control, please. It is prompting here. So 5 networks, right? You can see we just changed the subnet from 24 to 27. We will see how to do it. The first subnet will be 10.0.0.0, which will address the 30 host. The second subnet will be 10.0.0.34, which will address the 32 host as well. 5 will be wasted, no problem. And then here we will have 30 from 10.0.0.64/27. You can see all of them, they are having the same subnet mask. It means when we divide a class, all of the smaller subnets, they need to have the same subnet mask. They cannot have different. They can have different, but then they will overlap. So we have to further divide it 2 times. In one time, we cannot. So it means it was 10.0.0/24, total 256 hosts were there. What we have done, so we have given 32, 32, 32, 5 times we divided it into the 5 subnet. The first subnet 10.0.0/24, it means this will start from where? The first computer will have an IP address 10.0.0.1 because 0.0 cannot be assigned. The second one will have .2, .3. Then finally it will have up to dot 31. So total 32, because 32 cannot be used and dot 0 cannot be used as well. Then the next phase will start. From here, we will have, sorry, 31 can also not be used, so it will be 30. It will be up to 31. So the second phase will be 10. The first computer in this network will be 10.0.0.33.34. This will be 35, 36, and the last computer will be up to 63. Then we go to this network. So it is starting from 64. Jonathan says, why is 27? Yes, we will go through. That's what we are going to study. This is, I am giving you overall idea that how to read the diagram, but how to do the calculation, it is not so simple. We will go through. We are establishing base for that one. So dot 64 means this IP addresses will be from where, guys? What will be the IP addresses in this subnet? Any idea from the picture? From where it will start? What will be the first computer IP address? Cannot be 63. Yes, very good, Salawu, Idris. Yes, it will be 65 because the subnet number is 64. So this whole network number is this one, right? So it means it starts from, and what will be the last one? 94. Very good, Temison. Some people are saying. So the first one you can see from here, but don't worry, we will calculate in detail. This is what we are studying today and tomorrow. That's why we have these extensive sessions as well. So please arrange your time easily if you really want to understand subnetting. It is not something which we can, otherwise we will be struggling like all other network engineers who become managers, who become directors in their companies, and then, you know, they are lacking the basic knowledge. So we have to have a deep dive into subnetting. Then the remaining concepts will be very easy. If you don't, then you will be struggling in OSPF, you will be struggling in BGP, you will be struggling in MPLS, you will be struggling in VLANs, everywhere, if we don't understand this in deep. So first will be 65, the second will be 66, and last one 67, 68, and last one will be, because it is starting from this one, so it will be 95, also because it is 32 host. This is how we do. And then this one, it will start from dot 97 and then dot 98. On this side, we will have dot 129, dot 130. That's all. So this is how, yes, Khurram, yes. So this is how we divide a host. This is the overall idea. I'm not saying that now you should know that how to do the calculation. So calculation we are going to study, but this is the overall idea. Means we were having this network which was giving us 256 hosts. So what we did, we divided into 5 small subnets. This one, and then this one. This is called as subnetting. Now I guess you guys know why we need subnetting. Is it better now, guys? So subnetting gives us, other than to fulfill our requirement, it also gives us easy network administration. Now you can see that this side people will be able to manage themselves. Also routing is not possible, you know, because we have to place router in between. So routing is not possible. We will have to place the switches in between, which is not our requirement of the network. We need to have routers. So it gives us easy network administration. It makes the network performance better. Why? Because within one network, we just discussed, it is one broadcast domain. When one PC will send some data, everyone else will receive that one through the switch. So we want to make it small. It means less broadcast. Also, according to Cisco's recommendation, any subnet, any network should not be bigger than 500 hosts. So it means this is the recommended range. It means if you have more than 500, then you will have a lot of congestion. And then this is for improved network security as well. You can see the network security means within one network, if one of the computer is compromised, if one of them is having virus, the virus can easily spread between, it can easily replicate it to all of them. So it is for improved security when this network is separate, and then this network is separate, this network is separate. Clear, guys, why we need subnetting at all? So that we move to our second section. of IP address classes. First one was about the fundamentals. Fundamentals mean that why do we need subnetting at all? We have an IP address and a subnet mask, and then we can divide them into we can distribute. This is just like, you get a big chunk and then from your supplier, and then you divide the salary to each of them. And then we went through the example as well. So we divide this is just like you can think about the classrooms. We divide the classrooms into smaller classes for easy management. Whatever advantage we get from dividing the classes in normal schools, the same advantage you get by subnetting as well. And then we went through this example. So let's go to the second part, which is about IP address classes. We have 3 classes mainly. There are 5 classes, but we don't care about E and D and E. We care about C and A, B, and C. So how to identify? Very simple. So 3 classes, I want you to know that how to identify. We discussed this in detail as well when we went through the IP address. So you just see the first octet. You just see the first octet. If it is from 1 to 126, you should immediately know that this is a class A IP address. And then you should also know that what is the default subnet mask for this one. It should be /8, means first 8 bits are 1. This is 0 and this is all 0. If the first octet is from 128 to 191, it is class B. From 192 to 223, it is class C. Right? So let me ask you a few questions now. Can somebody tell me which class of IP address is this? Okay, Seku, Vasio, Mr. Hacker, Robert, Sheila. Yes, this is class Erica, very good. So this is class A, right? How about this class 172, if you remember? B, right? So I think you guys are very clear. So it is very easy to identify. This is class B and this is class A. So what is the subnet mask that I should put with this class A? With 10002, what should be the subnet mask? Philippus says 8, Shiniza, Sora, very good. So it should be /8. And then what should be with 172? Ebenezer, Jonathan, Daniel, yes, it should be /16, very good. And then this 116 belongs to class A as well, right? So this should also be /8. Why? Because from 1 to 126 is always class A. And then 192.168 is class C, because from 192.0 up to 223 is class C. So it means this is class C and it should have /24. Very good. So you guys can identify easily. This was about IP classes. The people who were asking questions about classes, is there any further question, guys? Before you were asking. Okay, yes, 128, yes, you guys asked. So there are some IP addresses. Anything which is not here, don't worry about that. That does not belong to any class, right? So you can see from 1 to 126, there is a number missing. There is a number missing, which is 127. So we don't care. It might be loopback. It might be some reserved. So everything else which is not here, let's not start caring about everything. Why this is not there? Why this is not here? Everything else which is not here is reserved. You can also see there is something. So can somebody tell me what is not here? Because the total range starts from 0 to 255. So it means 0 is not here. It means the IP address 0.0.1 is an IP address, but this is reserved. So this does not belong to any class. Similarly, from 1 to 126, and then it is 128. So where is 127? 127.0.0.3. This is also reserved. We don't care. Then after 223, there are also IP addresses 224, which is multicast, 225. Yes, very good. Nicholas says 128 0 dot something. So everything else, guys, let's not worry about that. Everything which is not here is reserved, right? Very clear. Yes, so if you want to know the usage of each of those reserved ones, there is a list as well, which I showed you in the last lecture of IP addresses. So you guys can go through that as well. Okay, now basic things, decimal to binary conversion. But before doing that, let me tell you that this is not something which you will be doing for the whole life or remaining. So you simply have to go to your Windows calculator. In the Windows calculator, you have to click on this one and click on programmer. Here you can see that it tells you binary and it tells you about decimal as well. So if you want to know what is the equivalent of 32 in binary, so just click on decimal in here, type 3 and 2, and it tells you what is the binary, which is 0010000. It means you will use the calculator in future, but for now you need to learn that how does that happen, how does the calculator do, so that you have concept in your mind, right? So we have to use the calculator in future. So this can be done very easily, but let's see how it is done. So don't get your mind stuck into this one, but we need to know. So how it is done? We calculate from decimal to binary. Two methods, from binary to decimal, means from 0010 into the decimal as well. In binary, when we do the IP address calculation, we always consider that the binary number is 8-digit. Why? Because each octet of IP address is also 8-digit. So let's convert this 32. How have we done? So we have done our same old school method, which we were doing before. We just keep on dividing by the values of 2. I think every one of us has already learned this one in our elementary school, in our high school. So let's say we want to convert 32 into binary number. Khurram, it's same time tomorrow as well. Guys, it's a 2 days session. Please don't miss tomorrow's session. It will be on the same time tomorrow. So start dividing by 2. 2 16s are 32. How much is left? 0. Then 2 8s are 16. How much is left? 0. 2 4s are 8. How much is left? 0. 2 2s are 4. How much is left? 0. And then 2 1s are 2. How much is left? 0. Now whatever we have seen here is our binary number. So what is this? 1 0 and then 4 zeros. But like we discussed, the binary number is always 8 digits, 0 and 0. So the number becomes this one. So this is how we have converted 32 into 0 into binary. Clear on this one, guys? Let's do one more example. So let's say we want to convert 60 to binary, right? So what we do, we write 60 here. Let's start doing it. So we write 60 in here because this is what we are converting into binary, and we start with 2. Francis, you see this example, then you will see now. So we start with 2, right? So we say 2 30s are 60, then 2 15s are 30. Then we divide again. Okay, so after we divided, how much is left? 0, because we have divided fully and also left 0. Now when we divide 2 15, so 2 7s are 14. How much is left? 1, because we couldn't divide 15 to full, right? That's why 1 is left. Then again 2 3s are 6. This is just by simple division. 2 3s are 6, 1 is left. Then 2 1s are 2. How much is left? 1. Now we cannot divide further. So what is our answer, guys? This will be our answer. All these numbers, we start reading from here. So the answer is 1 1 1 1 0 0. How many digits are these now? 4 and 2 6. But we discussed already that the digits should be how many? 8, right? So we need to put 2 zeros on our side from left side. This is just like, you know, if I write 60 in simple numbers, or if I write 0 0 60, both are 60. If I write 100 or if I write 0 100, left side zeros don't matter. So this is how we do the calculation, guys, right? Then this is the exercise I want you guys to do quickly. Can somebody do binary for 53? Please take papers and pencils with you while we are doing all of this now. So please don't use calculator. Yunus says, why do we put 2 zeros on the left? Yunus, because the IP address, each digit, each octet is 8 digits. So we have to make it total 8. That's why we put 2 zeros to make it all 8. Guys, please convert quickly. 53 for me. What is the answer of 53? Then the remaining you will do as a homework. I'm waiting for you. But if you can do, it's also fine. Just try so that you learn the method. Okay, Daniel has converted. 200 Adomo, Mr. Hacker. It's very easy. Did you guys face any problem? No, I guess, but some answers are a little bit different. So let's see what is the answer. Let me go to the calculator. Very simple. I click on decimal, then I say 5 and 3, and then I can see it is 00110101. So whose answer is correct? Shiniza is incorrect. Johnny is correct. Shiza, you can see again. Just try to do it again, or let's do it together. Guys, whoever has wrong answer, so let's do it together now, right? We want to convert 53, right? So let's start with 53. So we start dividing by 2, and we will say 26 2s are 52. How much is left? 1 is left. Then we start again. 2 13s are 26. How much is left? 0 is left. Then 2 6 are 12. 1 is left. 2 3s are 6. 0 is left. 2 1s are 2. 1 is left. So what is the answer now? Very simple. Now, did you guys find whoever had it wrong? So we start writing the number now. 1 1 0 1 0 1, which is here also, you can see. And then we add 2 extra. Guys, whoever was asking why do we add extra zeros, because we have to make it 8 digits. So we have how many? 1 2 3 4 5 6. So let's add 2 extra zeros on this side. So it means 53 in decimal is equal to 00110101 in binary. So guys, whoever had it incorrect, is it correct now? Kuram, total session time will be around 2 hours or a little bit more than that today and tomorrow as well, because we want to do it extensive. Also, even after 2 hours, whoever guys will have questions, I will unmute you one by one. You guys can ask the question as well, so that we can talk to each other. You guys can learn more as well. So this is the extensive, just like a small lecture. So is it clear, guys? Why are you including forward? Masika says the last reminder. This is how we have to do. So we have to start from here. We have to include this number. This is the way. How do we do? Okay, very clear. Yes. So let's move. This was, now there are some exercises I want you guys to do as well. These are the exercises which you have to finish. So today after the lecture, do 170, 53, 153, 244, and then you guys can send to the admin as well. And then there is 75, 84, 143, you have to convert. It's very easy. Now the second part, this was from decimal to binary, means a normal number into 0 ones. Now, if somebody says, this is the part number 4 now, from binary to decimal, it means if we have a number which is, let's say 10 in binary, let's say 000000 in binary, how to convert this number into decimal, which is equal to 2. So let's learn the method of this one as well, back from binary to decimal. So we have to convert these numbers. For this one, actually, you might have observed that on each slide, even on the previous slides, I have put this one. This is like a Bible when you want to do the subnetting and networking. So you must remember this one. This is a simple table whenever you want to resolve something, whenever you want to do your calculations as well, right? So simply you write these numbers 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, something like that. And then you start writing these digits up to here. So just start moving 1, write 1 below it, 0 should be here, 1. The number which we have to convert, we just keep on writing that number up to here. I missed one of that one as well. So this one is this. And then we need to multiply these numbers. So actually there is a multiplication between these two. We will do it when I write. I think you will understand more. So 1 multiplied by 1 is what? 1. 2 multiplied by 0 is 0. 4 multiplied by 1 is 4. Then everything 8, 0. Anything which gets multiplied by 0 is always 0. Then finally we plus them. So 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. Right? So let's do an example. Let's write ourselves. Then you will understand more. So here, what do we have to write again? So we have to write those numbers which were, let me take a different color. So those numbers were basically 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and 128. Just keep on multiplying, making it double and double, right? And now what is our number? Let's write our number. So our number is this one. So let's put 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, and 0, right? So this is our number, which is in yellow. You can see here. So I have just mentioned this number in here. Then we multiply all of these numbers together. 1 multiplied by 0, 2 by 0, 4 by 0, 16 by 1, 0, 0. So what is the final answer now? 1 multiplied by 0 is 0. 2 multiplied by 0 is 0. Then 4 multiplied by 0, 8 multiplied by 0, 16 multiplied by 1 is 16. So then 0, 0, 0. So what is the answer? We need to plus all of these pink ones now. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 16 plus 0 plus 0 is equal to 16. So the answer is 16. This number in binary is equal to 16 in decimal. Easy, guys. So now you know how to convert from binary to decimal and decimal back to binary. Okay, great. So let me show you another one quickly. So these are some of the things which you guys have to do for me. So can somebody help me to convert any of this number? So please do the conversion yourself. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. Please convert this binary number into decimal. What is the answer? Either you can use calculator or you can use this binary math. Okay, some people already know. Very good. Jonathan, always, Nikash, yes, very easy. Why? What we will do, we will just write those numbers below it, which is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, and then we multiplied by 0 multiplied by 1, 1 multiplied by, so everything will be 0, only this will be 2. So 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is equal to 2. So the answer is 2, right? That's why I gave you simple example. Now you guys need to print this one and you need to do this exercise and then send me the file as well. Okay, now the real math starts. Until here it was for kids, you know. Now you are adult engineers, now you are network engineers, now you need to start doing the calculations. So are you ready? Or I think we can have a break of 10 minutes so that the people who have to go for prayer, who have to do anything, they can go for that. So here we have to calculate the real thing now. So from here it starts a little bit. Until here we were just playing. We just needed to know the basics. So how long break do you guys want? 5 minutes is okay? Okay, great. And also guys, there is a quiz now which you guys have to perform. So please perform the quiz. And then we will have, most of the people are saying 10 minutes, okay. But the problem is with the people who have data issues, you know. Jonathan says 5. Okay. Philip, admin, please paste the quiz link.